Have you ever had a friendship that you're sure you need to end immediately, but you know you've had them for a long time? Basically, the sunk cost fallacy. I consider this sunk cost fallacy every time I decide to make a decision because I like to care about the time I invested because time is the only resource that you don't get back. I think of this all the time. Favorite thing to think about every day, every single day. It muddies through my mind. Then I'm in a labyrinth of my own mind. My mind is like the back rooms, endlessly, thousands of ways over. That's actually my theory for the back rooms when you really think about it. I think it's the mind of some eldritch entity that is watching and observing humanity in every single asset and actually trying to recollect what it's seeing and interpret the best way it possibly can. Hence why there's so many different entities in the back room and why it propagates so much. It is the back rooms of somebody's mind that is trying to remember a distant memory, a thought, a image, a vision, a liminal space, trying to collaborate inside of its own mind, own brain, its own ideas to get to the bottom core prism of a mind that we cannot fathom and we cannot understand. Great way to think about it. Now that's how I feel about the back rooms, and I'm stuck in the back rooms right now because I'm losing a friend. I'm losing a friend over a grilled cheese. So let me set the scene for you. Let me set the stage. Let me propagate everything. Let me have you pull up a chair and make you understand where this whole fiasco, Lupe, started. Let's see. Let's start from right here. So, few months back, one of my friend's house, and we were just having a fun little lunch together, a little bit of a luncheon, a little bit of a tea party, very British but very American because guns were involved, and I was in the hood and things were a little bit drastic. He said, "Hey man, how do you make a grilled cheese?" Now, this was a very simple question. I had no mindset behind it. I simply thought it was an easy question to answer. I said, well, I usually just get some bread, usually wheat. Honey wheat is what I prefer. And either I get some Kraft Singles American, then I put butter on the pan, and I put the cheese down. And then I usually wait until it's about a little bit golden, butter the pan again, put it again down, and I have enough butter on there, so I wait until the cheese in the middle is melted. Usually simmer it with a low heat is what I usually go for, just to make sure the cheese is fully melted on the inside. If you do too of a high heat, you could burn the outside bread, the cheese might not be melted, then you're eating burnt bread. He said, "Oh, cool. You don't put any meat on it?" I said, "The only thing I'd add on a grilled cheese is cream cheese, because that's another kind of cheese. If you never tried cream cheese on a grilled cheese, which is cheese and cream cheese, I recommend you try it. And before anybody says that be gross, I ask you, what do you put on a bagel? Cream cheese? What is a bagel? Bread. You can put cream cheese on toast. I don't know why you would think it'd be gross to put cheese and cream cheese together. They're both two kinds of cheese. You can try it. It's not that hard. As a matter of fact, to make macaroni creamier, you would put cream cheese inside your macaroni. Case in point, continuing forward. I'm not going to educate you on how to cook. Anyways, he says, you don't put any meat on it. I said, well, it's not a grilled cheese if you put meat on it. Now, this is where the whole argument started. He said, no, it's still a grilled cheese if you put meat on it. If you put bologna on a grilled cheese with bologna. I said, no, that's a fried bologna sandwich or a bologna sandwich with cheese on it. That's all you're doing. He said, nah, man, because, it's still a grilled cheese because you're grilling the cheese. I said, no. The aspect of making a grilled cheese implies that there's only grill and cheese. You have grilled the cheese. That is actively the end of the interaction. You do nothing else. You don't really need to be that fancy. You can try different kinds of cheese. You can try multiple kinds of cheeses. Hence why I offered the cream cheese. But you don't really need to add anything extra when it comes to making the base grilled cheese. It is not that ridiculous to do so. Not even that crazy of a thought to have. You just need to actively put grilled cheese. That's it. He had stated, no. See, see, you don't accept anything different. See, I like to put bacon and all this other stuff. So okay, so now we're talking different. Bacon would be an accessory more than a meat, because now you're making a bacon and grilled cheese sandwich, which is a grilled cheese and bacon sandwich. He said, yeah, but it's still a grilled cheese. I said, it's technically a grilled cheese, but an apple is not the same as a caramel or caramel apple. They are two separate things. And then he said, why do you say caramel and caramel? And I said, because I don't know the correct pronunciation, because I don't see many people using one specific pronunciation of the word. I would like to see which specific one you use. Do you say caramel or caramel? He said, man, that's caramel. I said, okay, then I agree with that. But sometimes people say caramel. He said, anybody that says caramel is wrong. I said, okay, so you don't accept new opinions. So now we're getting into your psychological framework and understanding that you don't accept new things in that capacity. And we're going back and forth with this argument, just to and fro. Two guys just having a horrible time trying to make a grilled cheese, right? Because I said, okay, Let's ask somebody else. Now, I shouldn't have done this. Probably the worst decision I made in my entire life. Just an idiotic move. Maybe it's because I didn't understand where his pride and ego and vanity really stemmed from. Didn't really know what was going on. I said, let's ask your mom if it's a grilled cheese. So we make 2 sandwiches and we go to his mom, who's sitting in her room, and we knock on the door. We enter and I say, excuse me, ma'am, what would you consider a grilled cheese? And she said, well, just cheese and bread. He said, nah, ma, like, don't you put meat on your grilled cheese? And she said, you stupid, that's a sandwich. And then he said, well, is grilled cheese not a sandwich? So now we're just arguing semantics here. We're just arguing very specific semantics about what specifically constitutes as a specific grilled cheese. So now at this point, we've lost the plot. We have completely lost the plot. We're just actively going to and fro, just arguing about specifics in a bread world, and I just don't know what to do. And so he goes to ChatGPT. Just wasting water for no reason. Why would you even consider going to ChatGPT? This is a regular conversation. And ChatGPT, at first, disagrees with him. Completely disagrees, until he phrased it better for ChatGPT. And he tried to not show me the other results, but I went to his computer, looked at his ChatGPT, and saw how he edited his phrases. That's why I think if you speak to AI, you're basically talking to yourself and trying your best to actually make it seem like you're less of a bad person. It's bad. Don't use AI as a therapist or a confidant or a friend, because they're always going to agree with you. I've never in all of my days seen ChatGPT disagree with somebody. That is nuts. So he then proceeds to say, well, you're just stupid. Obviously, you just don't want me to be right about this because you have some kind of fight against me. Fight against you? I have nothing against you. I have literally nothing against you. I am actively telling you that your definition of a sandwich that is specifically a grilled cheese does not match what everybody thinks a grilled cheese is. If you just put cheese on the sandwich, that doesn't make it a grilled cheese. He said, well, technically, it is. It's a variation of the grilled cheese. At this point, we're just splitting hairs. We're making mountains out of molehills, and he's getting red in the face. I've never seen a black man in my entire life get red in the face. Never seen that. Thought it was impossible for our ilk. Didn't know that was actually possible. Didn't really figure out that our nomenclature of human design, the melanin within our bones, bodies, and gullets allow for red to surface inside the blood going to the side of our heads. But I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm happy to learn something, new information. I'm happy to educate myself, because he was getting disgustingly red. Oh my goodness. I feel as though he could have just been throwing up bloods at this exact point, because he was red. It was insanity to witness this man. He said, "No, see, you can't handle being wrong. See, you think because you got that big YouTube following, you just right about everything." That's not true. I'm willing to be wrong all the time. As a matter of fact, I argued with a YouTuber a while back, and I proved I was wrong immediately, and I accepted my defeat. He said, "Nah, that's a bigger YouTuber. What about a smaller YouTuber?" 100%. I had beef with a girl named Keldawat a while back about the Amazing Digital Circus, and I admitted my folly in that and my insensitivity and how I should use my platform. I really don't understand what you mean. He said, "You just trying to sound like a bigger person right now. I just don't like that, man. You ain't the bigger person all the time." I said, "Obviously not. I'm petty and egotistical, and obviously I'm spiteful, and I'm resentful towards many things. I'm resentful towards so much, and I'm not a good person in most capacities. I'm kind, but I'm not good at all." He said, "See, you think you smarter and wiser because you accept the faults about yourself." A little bit. I don't know about smarter, but I'm definitely wiser. I'm not smart at all. My intelligence is very low. I think my IQ is like 70 or something like that. And he said, "Nah, man, see, you trying to, this is how you tell lies." I said, "This is how I tell lies?" He said, "You tell lies by saying something bad about yourself, so we believe the other stuff." I said, "Really? Maybe I do that. Maybe I do manipulate." He said, "No, you can't just admit to it. You gotta argue back." Now, you want me to argue? I'm not giving you the energy of the argument. I'm just agreeing with you because you might be right. He said, "Then agree with me about the sandwich." I said, "No, not at all. Because that's not a grilled cheese. It's not a grilled cheese. You're just lying to yourself. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you want this so bad. I'm not sure why this hill you're willing to die on. But this, in no way, shape, or form, in no capacity, in no reasonable metric of the word, is a grilled cheese, brother. I'm so sorry." And I hate to say this, man, but maybe you should seek professional help about this. He said no, and he ended up smacking all the silverware onto the ground, thus alerting his mother. His mother's coming down the steps, and now his mother's like, why are you knocking stuff over? He said, because he think he know what a grilled cheese is, and I'm sick of this nigga. I'm like, oh my goodness, the N-word. I didn't know. I was just caught me off guard. I was like, what did I do? He said it with animosity and hate, and he said, get up on my house, man, get up on my house. I said, okay. So I left with no food, and I made him 2 grilled cheeses with cream cheese on it. And so about 4 days pass, and he's sending me all these messages. He's making all these posts on Facebook about me, making all these long messages and all this stuff. He's going crazy. It's really insane, right? And everybody, he's like making indirects about me on Twitter, and he just posted sad stuff on Instagram saying, really, you lost a good friend, all this stuff. And I'm kind of not paying attention. I didn't see any of it, by the way. I want to point this out. I didn't see any of it when he first posted it. No clue he was posting it. I was told by his girlfriend that he was posting all this stuff. I didn't know that he was posting all this stuff. I was busy making YouTube videos. I really don't go on Facebook or Instagram unless to post something. I don't really scroll through Reels or anything of that variety or TikTok shorts. I just kind of post, then I go on about my day and continue to read the things I'm reading. Usually it's a news article or a book. And he was hoping I'd see it so that I would apologize. He was hoping that in some strange way, twisted way inside of his brain, some machination in his brain, that if I saw this, I would immediately apologize. Now, this is where it gets really, really cool. Super cool. Remember, this is a few weeks back, so I'm just naturally, minding my black business. He then says, hey, man, I tried those grilled cheeses you made. So, okay, it's been a few days at this point. Those are really good grilled cheeses, but my grilled cheese is better. And so I said, okay. And he gives me a fried bologna sandwich with cheese on it. That's what he gave me. So I eat the sandwich, and I say, this is just a fried bologna sandwich with cheese. He said, no, it's a grilled cheese with bologna. I said, I don't want you to be wrong, but you're definitely not right. He then, and I'll never forget this, he threw up. I don't know why he threw up. He was so frustrated that he just threw up all over my shirt. And I just sat there like a baby throwing up on me. I just sat there and then he started crying, and he said, I can't never do nothing right. I don't do nothing right. This life is a prison. I hate you. He ran back to his car because he drove over, and he went home. And he blocked me on everything. This was, oh my God, 3 weeks back maybe at this point now. I really don't know what he's doing or anything like that. But that was a weird situation. That was so odd. It was just very, very, very strange. Now, the reason I bring this up is because yesterday he was in my Twitch chat. I was streaming, and he was in my chat. He was saying I deserve to have my foot burned, and I deserve to have my car stolen and stuff like that, and that I'm worthless, and my hair is nappy. He was just saying a bunch of mean stuff to me yesterday in my Twitch chat, and then he went to my YouTube vertical chat, and then he went to my YouTube horizontal chat. He just kind of was just really mean to me yesterday, and I know it was him because he used the same username everywhere. It was the same username. He can't really do a variation of it, so I just kind of blocked him from my channel. And I lost a friend over that. And this is a friend I've had for a while. He was just kind of a funny guy. But he's one of those friends that if you don't argue with him, he'll argue with other people. And you kind of find the hilarity in the fact that he argues with other people. But you just kind of let him get away with most things because he just argues and he can't ever be wrong. I don't know why I died so hard on this grilled cheese hill. Don't know what that was about with me. But realistically, I think we're both a little prideful in this situation about the grilled cheese. But I feel like I'm not wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are going to tell me I'm wrong. But yeah, you guys who are checking out my video, lost a good friend over grilled cheese. So yeah, have a lovely day or night wherever you're at, and I'm out. Peace. Bye. I'm your Nick and Night, be my Laurel. Happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride when you